Hi, I'm Jimmy, MrBeast, and as the team is growing larger, I no longer get to spend as much time with everyone as I used to. The first dozen employees had unfiltered and unlimited access to me to learn as much as they could about my vision and what I wanted. Sadly, you don't have that luxury. So, I thought it would be useful to try to brain dump as much as I can into this silly little book to help bring new people up to speed on everything we've learned over the past decade with this channel. We've been through a lot, and chances are most of the problems you face we've dealt with. I genuinely believe if you attentively read and understand the knowledge here, you will be much better set up for success. If you read this book and pass a quiz, I'll give you $1,000. Sorry in advance for all the run-on sentences and grammar issues. I'm a YouTuber, not an author. This is not a rule book. I need to kick this off by saying the purpose of this is not to give you a bunch of rules to follow. On top of that, I don't want anything in here to be taken literally. What we do is complex and changes based on the situation. I need you to repeat this in your head 3 times. I will apply everything I read with a grain of salt. This is not an inclusive list of everything. Instead, I hope it inspires you to ask questions and come to us to learn more. I could make a separate book for creative, a separate book for production, a separate book for editors, etc., but I think that'd be dumb. Everything we do here is interconnected, and the more you understand about what others are doing and trying to accomplish, the better set up for success you will be. So this will be information about all parts of MrBeast Productions, and I advise everyone to read it in its entirety. A good example of this is James Warren. He understands every single part of this company at a deep level, and as a result, can make decisions faster than anyone else. The stuff you will be reading about he knows like the back of his hand. I've seen a team of 5 people work on a project for a week just to give up, and James solve it in 30 minutes. I say this not to flex for him, but to show the power that comes when you understand everything in this book deeply. The more you know about why we do things and what we are trying to accomplish, the better off you will be. So let's start off with some basic stuff. What is your goal here? Your goal here is to make the best YouTube videos possible. That's the #1 goal of this production company. It's not to make the best produced videos, not to make the funniest videos, not to make the best looking videos, not the highest quality videos. It's to make the best YouTube videos possible. Everything we want will come if we strive for that. Sounds obvious, but after 6 months in the weeds, a lot of people tend to forget what we are actually trying to achieve here. I don't care how traditional media does things. Pardon the bluntness, but this is not Hollywood, and I do not want to be Hollywood. If that sentence is a turnoff to you, then you're probably at the wrong job. I genuinely mean that. YouTube is the future, and I believe with every fiber of my body it's going to keep growing year over year. In 5 years, YouTube will be bigger than anyone could have ever imagined, and I want this channel to be at the top. That's why I say we are not Hollywood. 99% of movies or TV shows would flop on YouTube. On top of that, they'd be wildly unprofitable, have no flexibility, and have long lead times that can't adapt to trends. We aren't here to make a small movie once or twice a year. I want to make 1 a week. That's why you need to be nimble and produce content our way, not the way you were taught before. If you want the highest probability of success, I beg you to learn why we do what we do at a deep level before you try to fix anything. We've done countless videos and invested hundreds of thousands of hours collectively building how we do things. I know it's not perfect, but we have a reason for how we do most stuff, and it's probably a decent one. The amount of hours you work is irrelevant. Before you get mad, recall the story about James solving a problem in 30 minutes that a team of 5 couldn't solve in a week. In that example, does it really matter how many hours they worked? Obviously, we want grinders who put in the hours, and I love you guys to death who do. But at the end of the day, you will be judged on results, not hours. We are a results-based company. Get shit done and move the goalpost. As I type this, I realize it may not be the wisest to categorize everyone into 3 buckets, but this is how I believe we should look at everyone who is part of the production team. You're either an A player, B player, or C player. There is only room in this company for A players. A players are obsessive, learn from mistakes, are coachable, intelligent, don't make excuses, believe in YouTube, see the value of this company, and are the best in the goddamn world at their job. B players are new people that need to be trained into A players, and C players are just average employees. They don't suck, but they aren't exceptional at what they do. They just exist, do whatever, and get a paycheck. They aren't obsessive in learning. And C players are poisonous and should be transitioned to a different company immediately. It's okay, we give everyone severance, they'll be fine. Chapter 1. What makes a YouTube video viral? I spent basically 5 years of my life locked in a room studying virality on YouTube. Some days, me and some other nerds would spend 20 hours straight studying the most minor things, like, is there a correlation between better lighting at the start of the video and less viewer drop-off? There is. Have good lighting at the start of the video, or other tiny things like that. And the result of those probably 20,000 to 30,000 hours of studying is that I'd say I have a good grasp on what makes YouTube videos do well. The 3 metrics you guys need to care about are click-through rate, CTR, average view duration, AVP. Average view percentage, AVP. Make sure you know those abbreviations because that's how most people will refer to them. Up first, we'll talk about CTR. This is important no matter what department you work in. CTR is basically how many people see our thumbnail in their feeds divided by how many click it. If 100 million people see our thumbnail and 10 million click on it, then that means 10% clicked, and we have a 10% CTR. This is what dictates what we do for videos. I spent 50 hours in my front yard, and you wouldn't click it. But you would hypothetically click, I spent 50 hours in ketchup. Both are relatively similar in time effort, but the ketchup one is easily 100x more viral. An image of someone sitting in ketchup in a bathtub is exponentially more interesting than someone sitting in their front yard. Titles are equally as important for getting someone to click. A simple way to up that CTR even more would be to title it I Survived instead of I Spent. That would add more intrigue and make it feel more extreme. In general, the more extreme, the better. I don't like bananas won't perform the same as bananas are the worst food on earth.